The fanfare that often greets the commencement of the alleged corruption trial of high-profile government officials usually wane down, and several of them remain inconclusive. Such is the case involving the former National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, former Governor of Benue State, Mr. Gabriel Suswam, the former Governor of Jigawa State, Alhaji Saminu Turaki, former Governor of Adamawa State, Alhaji Murtala Nyako, former Governor of Imo State, Mr. Ikedio Hakim, among several others. One of the parameters used by the Transparency International in ranking Nigeria 154 out of 180 is the failure to investigate high-profile corruption cases.
Investigation may not be as thorough as it ought to be. And so most high-profile political cases get killed at an infancy.
Between 2010 and 2019, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission received 73,948 petitions from members of the public, out of which 39,970 were investigated. Of this number, the Commission filed 5,767 cases in court and secured 2,544 convictions. Oftentimes, little is heard about the cases after the initial arraignments and hearing, as the cases often hit technical hitches. Some of the cases still pending in court years after the officials involved have left office include the trial of former Aviation Minister Mr. Femi Fani-Kayode. He is facing a 17-count charge of money laundering at the Lagos Division of the Federal High Court. According to the charge, the defendant was alleged to have committed the offence between January and March 2015. He was arraigned in 2016 alongside former Finance Minister Mrs. Nenadi Usman. The matter has been stalled several times for various reasons, including medical grounds and the transfer of judges. The trial of former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Babachir Lawal, has suffered several setbacks since its commencement in February 2019. He was arraigned on a 10-count charge of fraud and unlawful award of 544 million naira grass-cutting contract. Apart from procedural delays in the course of the trial, the case suffered a major setback following the death of the former presiding judge in the matter, Justice Jude Okeke, in August 2020. He was rearranged before Justice Charles Agbaza on November 30, 2020. The trial is one of the examples cited by the Minister of Justice when he blamed the judiciary for the delay in the prosecution of high-profile cases.
Against the background of the existing law, Administration of Criminal Justice Act, that allows for day in, day out, you cannot, by any stretch of imagination, place a blame associated with the conclusion and determination of that case on the doorstep of the executive.
You will see that.
However, the Chief Justice of Nigeria insists that the prosecuting agency's file cases cannot be proven in court. A statement from the CJN states, "The judiciary, by its connotational provision, does not have a criminal investigative unit or fraud detective squad to detect and investigate criminal involvement of any person. Neither does it have a garrison command to fight its cause or enforce its orders and decisions. More often than not, the federal government's prosecution sector files more charges than it can prove or provide witnesses to prove, ostensibly at times for the prosecution to even fail. Nevertheless, there are more factors delaying these cases."
It's very difficult for us to assemble evidence. Go and look at our criminal cases. Go and look at the law report. Usually we rely on confessional statement. And it's easy to get confessional statement because all you need to do is to torture the man.
Judicial technicalities have often been identified as the reason for delays in prosecuting corruption cases. Perhaps it's instructive for the relevant agencies to do their due diligence before proceeding with any corruption case to avoid any hindrance during the prosecution of high-profile corruption cases.